What's going on, guys? Seth here doing episode 2 of Ospuze News. Season 5 is right around the corner. It comes out on the 12th of this month. We are finishing out Season 4 right now, which I think was overall really well received by the community after Season 3 being kind of lackluster halfway towards the end. People started feeling fatigued by it. Started out really strong, but then kind of tapered off in a whimper. But Season 4 overall, I think, did the necessary things to balance the game and focus on core gameplay to make sure people feel confident in the future of the game, and brought in new players, which Season 3 wasn't able to do. So that's definitely a good thing. But we're moving into Season 5, and there's a lot of things to be excited about. I've been practicing myself, getting ready for Season 5.
He is the one.
Check this out, dude. That's right, I'm dodging bullets, I'm getting wins, I'm getting into weird arguments online with lights about using the Flamethrower because the Flamethrower is too weak and has too short of range to kill lights. But then when I present countless videos of me killing lights easily, groups of them, all of a sudden, all those lights are the bad lights. How convenient. Oh, got him. Oh, I got you.
Damn.
Oh. Remember that the majority of light mains are motivated by kills and not the objective, so use that to your advantage. They are very predictable. Like when I was approaching this building and I knew that there's lights on that roof, I go upstairs, I broke a window to make some noise, waiting for him to show up, and because he's looking for kills, he came right in. And because it's just one single light, there's no threat, so I just take him out.
Exactly what I wanted you to do.
So needless to say, I'm very excited to continue the barbecue in Season 5, and there seems to be a new weapon that will allow me to do more of that, but we'll get to that in a sec. Let's jump into the trailer.
Something's in the air, contestants. Are you ready for what's next?
Winter Kyoto at the end is such a nice touch. I can't wait to experience that. All right, let's go through and kind of dissect this a bit. Trailer starts off with a quick montage of all the prior seasons, which I think is a nice touch. We get a first glimpse at cosmetics. Looks like we got a Day of the Dead themed cosmetic here, which I think looks actually pretty cool. We get a shot of what I think is the Cerberus 12 gauge shotgun, which will be a new addition in Season 5, and another cosmetic that looks really cool. We get a glimpse at Monaco with a new shade of paint. It's Dissen, so I'm wondering if there will be new sponsored variants of the maps. Then we get some luchadors wearing new sponsored Trentilla, and a shot of two heavies slamming with capes on. Capes confirmed. I can't wait to dress my heavy like this. We get another cosmetic that I think is really cool looking. Love the colors. Then we get a shot of a map that goes by like in a millisecond, and I think it's the new map because I don't recognize this from prior maps. You can see he's in this smooth Via building, and out in the distance you see the Isolt building in an area with a bunch of trees. Really nice looking. Then we get a really clear shot, goes by really fast, but a really clear shot of the new shotgun, the triple shotgun, Cerberus 12 gauge, and I gotta say it looks really fucking cool with this really cool cosmetic. I gotta say this look goes hard as fuck. Then we get another glimpse of a map that we know well, but it's an Isolt sponsored variant, so I'm really curious to see what they do with this. We get a shot of someone with a mask and a hood on. Looks pretty cool, but it's super vague, so we can't get a whole lot from it. Then we know that the heavy's getting the Shack 50 2-round burst rifle. I'm assuming that's what this is because I can't really tell otherwise. We get a very ominous shot of a dude in a gas mask. Looks really fucking cool as well. We're seeing the Cerberus 12 gauge and all the promotional stuff now. Definitely curious how that thing's going to be. I have a feeling they're going to nerf it, but we'll talk about that. And then a winter variant of Kyoto, which I love all the variants that they've added so far in this game. Between the destructibility, the dynamic nature of these maps, and then the variants, it's just adding to the replayability. You can just keep replaying these maps forever, and I have been doing that, and I'm still not bored. And that's the trailer. I think it was actually a really good teaser. Got me really hyped, which is what you want from a teaser trailer for the new season. A lot of things there that has me asking a lot of questions, but beyond the teaser, we got a bunch of info, so let's go through that real quick. Season 5 is getting a brand new Map Bernal, which is in Mexico, and it seems like we are going going back to a real location. Season 4, we got the originally designed Fortune Stadium, and before that, Kyoto, based off the real location, so we're going right back to that. And they say the arena blends rich culture with the show-stopping dynamism of the finals. Traverse the narrow cobblestone streets of its colorful Colonial Plaza, which serves as the map's heart. Leap from rooftop to rooftop, or carve your own path right through the walls with destructible environments. Turn Bernal's historic charm into the arena of your dreams. Will you uncover its secrets or leave it in ruins? The choice is yours. Now, surprisingly enough, in this picture, it looks like they aren't going for a super vertical map like we're used to in a lot of the maps prior, and I kind of like that. It does seem like we have a lot of individual buildings, a lot of rooftops to be jumping across, but they're not super tall. So that kind of gives me this vibe that you're going to be in a lot of tight alleyways fighting in buildings. You're going to be able to go into most of these buildings, I'm assuming, or all of them. I assume they'll all be destructible, but that you have all these kind of higher, but not too high rooftops everywhere. You'll almost have like 2 layers to be fighting on in this map. So I think it looks really nice visually, but also just as a map for strategy, for gameplay, it looks like it's going to offer something that we at least haven't gotten since like season 1. The name of the game for a while there was verticality, and it looks like this one is kind of pulling back from that, which I think is a great direction. It's keeping things fresh. I'm really excited to experience it. All right, next up, let's talk about expanding the arsenal. We got 2 new weapons, we got 2 new gadgets. This is where things get exciting, but also kind of scary, because this is where things are going to really change the meta up, and hopefully for the best. But prior seasons, some things have come out, they've been very underwhelming. Some things arguably still are underwhelming. They haven't made them good enough still, which is wild. But then some things come out and it kind of takes over for a bit. I remember in the very beginning with the winch claw, everybody was like freaking out about it, and everyone was just using that and killing people instantly. Now everything's balanced out, so like nobody's really worried about the winch claw anymore. It's kind of just found its place. Some people use it, some people don't. So I'm wondering if a lot of these things will be like, I mean, of course everybody's gonna be using them in the beginning to try them out, but some of these things sound like they're gonna really change things up. So I'll be really curious to see how they're balanced from the beginning into the season. So in season 5, we're getting the Shack 50, a heavy hitting rifle for the heavy that fires 2 bullets per shot, delivering immense stopping power with each pull of the trigger. As a heavy main, this is really interesting to me. I've been saying for a while that the heavy needs some kind of rifle. People have said for a while, and I agree with them, that we should get like a Barrett sniper rifle, but what do you do to make that an interesting weapon that makes sense and isn't just another sniper rifle? Because we already have those, and eventually everybody's going to have weapons of different ranges. It all makes sense, but it has to be thematically good for the heavy, and so destructibility with a sniper rifle would be really cool, but it can't be too powerful because then it's going to be OP, so you got to balance that out. But we're not getting that, but we're getting something kind of close. We're getting a 2 bullets per shot rifle, which I think sounds really interesting. We didn't see a whole lot of it in the trailer, and all we're getting is like what it is on paper, so it's hard for me to really say how exciting it is for me. It is nice that it's 2 rounds per shot, so that gives you some kind of fast fire rate, I assume, but unless there's a lot of time between the 2 bursts, I think it's going to be a good addition. This is something that I wasn't thinking of, something that I couldn't have predicted, and Bark's done a great job on kind of keeping us guessing when it comes to what they're bringing to the table for the game, and I definitely will be checking this out just because, you know, I play heavy a lot, so I gotta know all the weapons. I don't know if this is gonna fit my play style, but maybe I have like 3 heavies that I have for different game modes and situations. Maybe it will find its way into the arsenal of my B or C heavy, so definitely very interested. And the next weapon I'm actually very interested in is the Cerberus 12 gauge, a break action triple shotgun for the medium loaded with incendiary shells that can set both contestants and the environment ablaze. Now this is something I'm very used to because I use the flamethrower so much, lighting people on fire, lighting the environment on fire, lighting bushes on fire when people go running into them, and so it sounds pretty cool to me. But also this is a gun that's going to have to be very well planned and balanced, because the idea of ranged incendiary shells could be really bad. One of the things that they've had to balance with the flamethrower, and I think it's in a pretty good place right now, is when you hit somebody with it and they run away, they're still taking damage. Now if it goes for too long, and I would love for it to go longer, I'm cool with that. I would like, people are like, oh, it needs longer range, it needs to burn longer. Sure, if you guys want to do that, I'm down. But it is kind of shitty for the person who is on fire to just be taking damage constantly. Of course, you can use smoke and, help with that, but it's not very fun for the person on fire. So you have to find like a balance that makes sense. But the flamethrower is a short range weapon. So you got to be either super defensive with it, or you need to be a bully and super offensive with it, which is the way I like to play. But you have to understand the range of it for it to be effective. With a shotgun, I assume it's going to be a close range weapon. It's probably going to have damage drop off over a certain range, but being able to tag somebody and light them on fire, I assume you'll be able to hit them pretty far away. Even if you don't do a lot of damage, you'll still be able to hit them with the fire. And while they're running off, they're going to be taking damage. So I'm really curious to see how this changes things up. It's the first projectile weapon we have that's doing something like this. So I'm really interested in it. I don't play medium a whole lot. A lot of the weapons aren't really for me, except for AKM, of course, is great. Everybody loves that gun. But yeah, really interested in where this goes. I have a lot of concerns and a lot of hype for this. Sounds awesome. All right, let's talk gadgets. We're actually getting new gadgets in Season 5. First one is Gravity Vortex, a deployable gadget for the light with a remote trigger that creates a local singularity that pulls in everything around it, including objectives, players, and objects. Now, this is going to change everything. I'm sure like in the beginning it's going to be a clusterfuck. Eventually it's going to find its place. It's going to find its meta. Maybe it'll be like the gravity grenade with the heavy. Like you sometimes see it nowadays, but like not very often. It really hasn't found its place. Like they might have to do a rework. I don't know, but it doesn't get used that often. Although it's being used more now than it was. It's getting some use again, but this sounds way crazier, but also sounds very light class-esque because it's a remote trigger that you use this. So you can kind of plan ahead, run ahead, be invisible or dash around, put it down, wait for people or whatever you're trying to do with it, like C4, and then hit it, pull people into it, pull objectives into it, which is kind of interesting that the light's going to have a way to move the cash out, I assume, which is going to be crazy. And then move objects. I'm really curious to see how it's going to move objects. Will it move parts of buildings that have collapsed? Will it pull boxes? Like, what's it going to move? So this will be really interesting. It's also going to be really fucked up, especially if it's being used with the next gadget, because I think you could do some really brutal team wipe plays with both of these, but them together will be really crazy. I think there's going to be a lot of really interesting things you're going to be able to do with this gravity vortex, and that's exciting for me because people always are talking about how they want like armor classes can drop down for other classes, which I don't think is a good idea, or they want like speed boosts and all this stuff that's like just stat-based stuff. And I think the strength of the finals is its dynamic gameplay, and the more things that can affect the overall arena and affect people and things that can change plays is way more interesting. And it seems like Embark agrees with that because this gravity vortex has so much viability in the things that it's going to be able to do that it fits right in. But I think it sounds really crazy, but we'll get used to it like we do with everything that they add. So definitely interested in how that's going to go. And the next gadget is the Lock Bolt Launcher, a gadget for the heavy that shoots an anchor into the environment that captures and holds up to 3 targets. Players are still able to move when anchored, but they won't get far. So you're gonna be like anchored to a single point. You're gonna be able to move around still, but you can't run away, which is terrifying, especially with a heavy. I don't know if I'll be using this a whole lot, but I know a lot of people will be using this because if I could capture 3 people with my flamethrower, I'm gonna cook all 3 of them. They can't run away from me. Especially if I'm using a melee weapon, it's gonna get really wild because one of the only weapons that gives me pause when I'm playing is a heavy with a sledgehammer, because by the time you knock his health down, you're already dead. And so if you can't run, if you can't rely on the environment to get out of his way, it's going to be brutal. And if you mix the gravity vortex with the Lock Bolt Launcher, pull people into a spot, then hit him with the chain, I can already see it now. People are going to be complaining about this. There's going to be a lot of rage. I feel like this is something that it's going to come out, it's going to be a certain way, and then they're going to rebalance it, rework it. But they're really interesting ideas, and I'm really curious to see the first 2 weeks of just mayhem where nobody knows what to do against this stuff or how to really use it until they find their niche and people really start locking in and using it or not using it, and it kind of fades into the rest of the gadgets. I'll definitely be trying out both of these and seeing how they fit into my kit, but time will tell, and we'll see how they go. I have a good feeling about these though. They sound pretty cool. Just hopefully they're not OP, but they'll balance them. Let's talk about clubs. New addition to Season 5 introduces clubs, our new social system where contestants can form groups and play together. Whether you are a solo star or a party animal, clubs give you a new way to connect, collaborate, and compete and beat the solo queue blues. Features include club bonus, earn extra XP and fans by competing as a team, club wall, stay informed about your club's latest activities and join the chat, team up requests, find teammates for your favorite modes more easily. And this is just the beginning. We can't wait to see how you and your club work together to make your mark on the finals. And overall, I think this sounds cool. Basically clans. I already got a name planned for mine. I pretty much play with the same people every time I play. Shout out to Josh and Cody. Sometimes Sarah will hop on. I would like Chris and Chevy to start playing. And so I'll be getting everyone I can to join my club. Gives kind of a community feeling to the game. Earning extra XP and fans by competing as a team is really cool. You already get extra XP for playing with people. So I don't know if they're going to get rid of that system for this or if it's going to stack. But more fans is definitely welcome. Unless you're doing some kind of exploit, getting fans in Season 4 was kind of a slog. So giving you more as an incentive to play with people is great. Also getting informed on club's latest activities and joining the chat is good for if you have a lot of people. Everyone I'm playing with, we're all talking about what's happening anyway, so we're all informed. But if you have like a lot of people who want to play together or at least be connected, maybe you're a content creator, you got a big community, or you just got like a lot of friends who play this game, it's a good communal thing, so it's pretty cool. And team up requests sounds cool too. Maybe you got like a bunch of friends on at once, and some of you want to play Bank It, some of you want to play Power Shift. You see 4 of your friends are on Power Shift, you want to be that 5th, you can just hop in, makes sense. Overall, I think this sounds like a cool feature, and later could be fleshed out to the point where you actually have like decorative stuff, emblems or whatever that represents your club. It's definitely a good early foundation for something that could turn into something really cool. All right, let's talk about sponsors. We have Isolt returning from Season 4 into Season 5, and the way they word this makes it sound like this will be an extension to Isolt, so you are just continuing your progress if you already were part of that sponsor before, which makes me think that maybe next season Halto will come back, but it'll have a second tier, so possibly you could decide maybe you didn't do Halto in Season 4, so you want to start it now, and they'll just keep like adding like different sponsors to here, and then one from a prior season before, so that you can actually hop around and get fully caught up with this one, but then start this one, but then in this season that's not accessible anymore, so you start hopping into this one, and eventually it'll all kind of even out, which will be really interesting. But we got Isolt coming back, more Isolt if you're into the blue shiny aesthetic, the bucket hat. Then this is where things get tough, because we get Vaya, which looks really fucking cool with the white tactical outfit, the cool mask, the holographic dots on the back of the gun. This is definitely more my style, but the one I'm gonna pick is Disson, because I've been a fan of the Disson cosmetics since they've been introduced, and now we're getting a season where you can be sponsored by Disson. Yeah, I'm definitely picking that one. And if you're curious, I am an Ngimo in Season 4, and even though the war between Halto and Isolt has been going strong, us Ngimos are just chill guys. We're just vibing. You guys can battle it out. We're just happy to be a part of it. But I see everybody talking about Vaya and Disson, and I will be joining the fray this time by picking a sponsor that's actually going to be popular. I only picked Ngimo because I like the colors better than the other 2 sponsors. But man, I really want to pick Vaya as well. Looks so cool. But Disson all the way, baby. Let me know what you're going to pick. All right, we got a couple extra things here. We got Snowball Blitz coming to celebrate the holidays with this limited time event, a 5v5 snowball fight, TDM, very interesting, in Monaco, featuring festive contracts and rewards. Very cool, sounds awesome, and they can kind of test out team deathmatch, something I think the final should have. I know it's very controversial to say, but I think new players should have an outlet to be able to learn the game, learn the classes, learn the kits with no pressure of having to learn the objective-based gameplay and have people yell at them while they're trying to learn the game. Because in Season 4, people got very vocal, very aggressive, and if you're a fan of the finals and you want to thrive, chasing off new players is so stupid. Let people learn the game, and TDM I think would be a good place to do that. And I don't want to hear about Bank It. Everybody's like, that's TDM. No, it's not. All right, we got updates to Quick Cache. We're introducing wave respawns to reduce long respawn times and keep teams together, as well as in-round loadout swapping inspired by Power Shift, which I'll be curious about how the respawns feel. I don't want to be too quick because then it's just going to be a clusterfuck, but the in-round loadout swapping, I think it's fine. It works good in Power Shift. It's nice to be able to just hop around and things aren't working for you this way, so now you can hop over to that. I see no problem with that, so it sounds fine. Meta Overhaul, a significant balance update, ensures fresh strategies and dynamic gameplay gameplay. This is always going to happen, so we'll find out what they do and we'll adapt accordingly. We're also adding new ways to experience the finals. For those with PS5, PS5 Pro, and Xbox Series X connected to a 20Hz capable TV, Season 5 will introduce 20Hz mode for a smoother, faster gameplay experience targeting 20Hz. It's perfect for players who want to immerse themselves in the finals' high-octane competition. I play on PC, but this is a good thing for sure. Anything to make the gameplay smoother, only beneficial, so great. Last but not least, we are launching on PS4. You will be able to compete in the world's greatest game show on more platforms than ever before. I see a lot of people kind of talking shit about this. This is huge. This is such a big deal. This allows so many people to get into this game that couldn't play before, which only grows the game, which we want if we want this game to do well. I'll be really curious to see how it performs on PS4, as this game has a lot going on in it, but there's a lot of people who are still on PS4, and this makes complete sense to me. So it's awesome they can make it work. And last but definitely not least, something that's been asked for a long time. Finally, we're commemorating the final's first anniversary with the Jukebox, a playlist feature where you can enjoy all the music released throughout year one. Whether you're gearing up for a match or reliving your favorite moments, let the music set the tone. Everybody's been asking for this forever. Every season has great music, and as the next season shows up, we get new music, but we miss the old music, giving us the option to have it a la carte, where we can appreciate the new music, but we can still celebrate the old music, is win-win. It's such a great move. There are some bangers from season 1 and season 2 I'm definitely going to be listening to. And they finished with clubs are forming, the Jukebox is playing, Bernal is loading in, December 12th can't come soon enough, and I completely agree. I am hyped for season 5. I can't wait to jump in. The finals is in a great place right now, and I hope this only elevates things moving forward. It's going to be a blast. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about all the things they're adding to the finals? What are you most excited about? What sponsor are you picking? And what would you like to see them add to the finals in the future? Let me know.